Hello, I'm Allison Wolfe, and I'm the CFO and the Global Head of Portfolio Management for Oxford Properties. I'd say we believe the current crisis will have both near-term and lasting impacts to the economy, and this is something that we're going to be talking about for years to come. In the near term, we believe the economy will see a significant hit to output as this crisis affects much of the service sector and those industries that are dependent on face-to-face interactions. We've already seen this in job losses, where key sectors like retail and hospitality have been significantly impacted. We also expect that the other sectors of the economy will ultimately feel some impact as consumer confidence wanes, supply chains are disrupted, and the interruption to our society causes a more general and broad slowdown. So although this started as a health crisis, it's evolving into an economic crisis, the likes which we've never seen before, not only for its depth, but for the shape as well. We really don't know when it'll end or how society or the economy will react once it's over. I'd say on the positive side, before this all started, there were few visible signs of stress and excess in the economy. If we think about the underlying causes of the dot-com bubble and the great financial crisis, we simply don't have or didn't have similar imbalances in the stock market or the housing market before this pandemic. So this may help pave a way for the smoother recovery once a vaccine is found, or as we as a society can find a way to contain the virus somehow. So in terms of government support, we've really seen an unprecedented response from governments around the world. The stimulus has been targeted, and it does appear that the policymakers are well aware of the segments of the economy that need the most support. It's clear they're doing their best to support these segments, and it's also important to bear in mind that there really is no playbook or precedent for this. At Oxford, we're really conscious about the cities and sectors that we target within our strategy, with a focus on the areas where we see the best opportunities from perspectives of growth, risk, and deployment opportunities. Now, we've been broadening our deployment focus beyond Canada for some time, and this is not due to a lack of belief, but due to a need to deploy in scale and also recognizing the benefits of a globally diversified portfolio. A more international opportunity set allows us to do this. We still retain a significant portion of our portfolio within Canada in several major cities, and we have a high level of conviction in the long-term fundamentals. However, Oxford will continue to think globally as we build our portfolio, and we're likely to see more proportionate growth outside of Canada, and in particular in the Asia-Pacific region. For this, we're fortunate to have less than a quarter of our portfolio in the hardest hit retail and hospitality sectors. Our office portfolio is performing well, and we remain confident that it will continue to weather the storm fairly well. I'd also say over the last several years, we've been really building our exposure to the residential and industrial sectors. And with this current crisis, we've seen these sectors demonstrate considerable resilience. As for what the future holds, it's our belief that the crisis will accelerate many of the secular trends that were already in play, namely an increase in the role of technology in our lives, both personal and business, and the importance of health sciences. We do believe the pandemic has not only accelerated this trend that was already underway due to an aging population and many of the recent advances in biotechnology and drug development, but we also believe that there will be a shift in several other trends. Senior housing will face a more challenging future, both from an investment and an operational standpoint. How we shop and travel will likely see some lingering, if not permanent, impacts. And I think within the office sector, the trend towards space densification has run its course and may begin to reverse. Lastly, across all asset classes, how we interact with our space from a health and wellness perspective will see some shifts. Many of these were already expected, but what we thought might come several years down the road, we'll likely see in the more near term. Some of the biggest opportunities and risks revolve around how we interact with space and what the future holds. This is an opportunity for us as a company to review our assets and the spaces within those assets and make sure that they're aligned with future real estate demand trends. We know that there will be both transitory and permanent impacts on how we interact with space. We need to be mindful to the trends of space densification, health and wellness, and other habits and considerations. We do not want to fall behind in meeting the needs of our customers and what they desire for their space. And we do believe they will become more discerning and particular with their requirements. We also see opportunities in the investment space, where as we look to deploy, we believe that the future trends hold significant opportunities to expand in both investment and development. Many of these opportunities will be in the alternative space, with a focus on those sectors that are aligned with secular trends that we see as foundational to the future of society. We expect demand growth to be significantly above average in these areas, as these trends become more pervasive, and this is where we think much of the growth will be across our regions. I have to say, I feel really thankful and blessed to work at Oxford. It is a wonderful organization, and every day I'm inspired by my team members and my colleagues. I think that our approach in approaching things as a partnership and working together to get a great outcome for our customers, for our lending relationships, and for other key stakeholders is kind of foundational to the Oxford culture. What I would say is the last 2 months have been really intense, and I think one of the things that I'm trying to remind myself and my team members is that it's a marathon and it's not a sprint, and that with everything that's going on, it's really hard to have personal boundaries, and you actually do need some space to think clearly and to have some perspective. So I think one of the things that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to encourage our team to do, is to make sure that you take some time to have some space to recharge, because that's actually when you're able to bring your best self to the team and to the organization, and that's what's needed right now. Well, thank you for the opportunity of letting me speak to you today. And just in closing, I would like to say first, thank you to all of our frontline workers, including our Oxford team members who are at our sites every day, keeping the building safe for all of our wonderful customers. And also thank you to all of our frontline workers in all of the jurisdictions that we're operating in and helping keep us safe. And I want to say thank you and stay safe and keep well.